I was going to edit my footage for the day, and there is no footage for the day. There's like a minute of footage. So I am going to hand you over to Heather from the past. I recorded a tag video before December started because I knew there would be a day like today. And then at the very end, I will have a short little montage with advents and things that I've done today. And I will see you tomorrow.
This is Heather from the past. I must not have had anything to record on whatever day of Vlogmas this is. But luckily, Kim at a Crafty Nomad made a Crafter's Holiday tag. So I'm going to record that. And that's what you're watching right now. Question 1. What is your go-to crafting method for holidays? So I knit a lot of socks, so you would maybe think knitting, but honestly, crochet is also pretty big in there. I crochet a lot, especially anything that I'm improvising. Crochet is just so much faster to try something out. If it doesn't work, rip it out easily. Knitting is a lot more It's a lot more of an investment for a smaller return when you are just trying something out. Most of the handmade ornaments that I've made with yarn are crocheted rather than knit. A lot of gifts for not random people, but random people are crocheted, but knitting and crochet are definitely my go-to. I've also done paper crafting and sewing in the past, but knitting and crochet are pretty much where it's at. I'm sure you're totally shocked. However, I'm willing to do whatever crafty method I need to do to get the desired results. So if I saw a craft that wasn't knitting or crochet that made a finished product that I really, really wanted to gift, then I would do that. Question 2, handmade, store-bought, or a mix? So, fun fact, I don't buy gifts pretty much at all. So, my gifting is almost exclusively handmade. It's not 100%, but for instance, my kids, I don't buy them Christmas presents. I knit them each pair of socks. I have a pair of slippers that I knit for them also, but I'm not planning on buying them presents. Although we did go to Lush on Black Friday and I did pick them up a little something from Lush. But that's where my gifting is, like it's just a little tiny accents of purchased things, if anything, if I purchase anything at all, which I usually don't. It's usually handmade. Number 3, who is the most craft-worthy person in your life and why? I would say that I am very blessed to have a pretty big circle of craft-worthy people. So this is difficult. Can I make a list? I'm going to make a list. So I will have to say my sister. She is super craft-worthy. She wears everything I make her. She's always super, super excited when I give it to her. And then also my children wear the things that I make them. My son is obsessed with hand knit socks. I should start knitting him more pairs. Maybe I will. Maybe, okay, so sometimes in like the middle of the year, I don't know what to make because I have historically, the past couple years, knit a good deal of my holiday presents like in January and February. So I'm just on the ball. So maybe I will plan, instead of one pair of socks for him next year, I did two for him this year inadvertently. I'll go ahead and tell you the story because whatever, this is a chatty video. So I knit him a pair of socks during, I think, January when I was making all of the kids' Christmas socks. And then we had a field trip to a baseball game and I needed knitting for the baseball game. So I started a sock for him there and I knit most of the first sock. So I have two pair for him. So maybe next year I'll plan two pair again or maybe three because he does wear them all the time to the point where I have to be like, listen, kid, I wasn't going to say anything, but I noticed you've been wearing those socks for like 5 days in a row. Go put them in the laundry. So yeah, I would say my kids and my sister are probably, and Haley, and I don't knit as much stuff for Haley. Um, she is always wearing socks that I knit for her, so that's really, really exciting. Um, so yeah, I have four people who I would consider super. No, I have more than that because my boyfriend only wears hand knit socks now. Like we've gotten rid of all of his commercial socks and he only wears the ones that I've hand knit him. I have a lot of knit-worthy people, craft-worthy people, because I'm sure if I crocheted them things, they would use them too. I just happen to knit socks, and that's what they use a lot. Although my sister would probably use anything that I made her. And my daughter and son wear the crocheted sweaters I made for them. So yeah, craft-worthy, not just knit-worthy. Number 4, what luxury craft item is on your wish list? This is tricky. There's not really a lot of, I'm not a stuff person. Like, I don't like to just have things, but I guess I have two things that I would really, really like eventually, someday. I would like Chowgu interchangeable needles. Yeah, an interchangeable set. I guess they wouldn't have to be Chowgu specifically. I just know that I like those needles and I would want a nice interchangeable set. When I was first learning how to knit, I bought one of the boy interchangeable sets and it was very serviceable. It did everything I needed it to do, but I broke cables, I've misplaced tips, and some of the um, some of the needles, like the part where it screws onto the cable, that metal has warped out, so it snags on things. I haven't actually used that set to knit anything in probably 3 years. I don't know where it is right now. It's probably packed up in my basement. Um, but I don't use it, but I would like a nice set of interchangeables. Also, I would someday like a wooden, what are those wooden ball winders? Can't think of who makes them right now, but they're they set on the table and they have a crank and they have a kind of like a drive band between the crank and the ball winder. I want one of those. I've been looking at them forever. By forever, I mean for like a year and a half, which really isn't that long. Number 5, describe a crafty holiday tradition you do every year. I suppose I have two, so I'm going to describe two. I knit holiday socks. That's what people get for Christmas or whatever winter holiday they celebrate. And most notably is my children and my sister's children. I knit them socks every year. And one year I knit them socks and a week later I was cleaning the living room and I found all Well, I found 4 of the 5 pairs stuffed under furniture. Not worn, just stuffed aside as gifts were being opened. So I gave all 5 pair to my daughter because she had worn her pair. So the other 4 pair I gave to her. And then I did not make Christmas socks the next year because the other 4 never noticed that their Christmas socks were missing. But then they were all like, where's our Christmas socks? And I was like, no, you don't get Christmas socks when you're not going to wear them and not going to use them. So then the following year, I made them Christmas socks. And they look forward to them. My niece has already asked me what her Christmas socks are like this year. And I told her I don't know because I made them back in January or February. Because I don't know. That was a long time ago. So that's one. And then the other is I always make handmade ornaments. Always. Um, I've made crochet ornaments. I've made, with my kids, I've made reindeer using toilet paper tubes. I've done other paper crafting ornaments. I don't know that I've ever knit an ornament. I've sewn some ornaments and embroidered some ornaments. I always make handmade ornaments. If you have not been watching for a long time, then you don't know this about me. I someday want to have a 4-foot Christmas tree. I'm like, someday when my kids are moved out and I can actually, have multiple Christmas trees and decorate however I want and have space to do all of those things. Or, maybe when they're older. My small humans are 9 and 11, which is big, but still busy. So, anyway, I want a 4-foot Christmas tree that is just covered in handmade ornaments. Not necessarily handmade by me, but handmade. Number 6, what is your holiday decor style? Handmade for sure. I just love handmade ornaments, hand dipped candles, hand poured candles. If some person took the time to make it, that's what I want my decoration to be. I do tend toward cranberry and like a pine green versus a Kelly green and a cherry red sort of decor. Definitely more of that color sense. And I someday aspire to have the sort of house that gets decorated for every holiday. That is not my life right now. I'm too busy right now with child things, but someday I would like to have multiple Christmas trees. I would like to decorate for Halloween and Easter and all of that. But right now I don't. I mean, I do just a little tiny bit, but I want to be the festive house when I'm a grown up. When my children are grown up, that is what I aspire to be. Should they have children, I want to be the grandma whose house is super festive. Number 7, describe the largest or most complicated item you have handmade for the holidays. I suppose that would have to be either the tree skirt that I finished this year in size. It wasn't terribly complicated, but it was quite large. So either that tree skirt or I have been working on a advent calendar sort of thing, something to put advent things in. I've been working on that for ever. I don't know, 5 years, 7 years. I don't know. I have no idea how long I've been working on it, but like not steadily working on it because if I just sat down, I could finish it. Um, it is a Christmas tree with ornaments on it. The ornaments are sewn down. The top of the quilt top is finished. I just need to quilt it and bind it. And even the quilting is about a quarter of the way there. Maybe even more. I don't know actually at this point because I have not pulled it out to work on it so far this year. That could also be my most complicated make because it had lots of little pieces. Number 8, describe a holiday crafting fail. I don't know that I have any crafting fails. I mean, the advent calendar that's been on the go forever, I guess that could be considered a crafting fail because I just haven't done it. But the item is still okay. I guess missing deadlines could be considered a crafting fail. And that happens every once in a while where I need an extra day or two to finish something up because I don't plan crafting properly. That is not a problem this year. It is, as of recording this, it's the 1st. And I have 3 pairs of socks to go, but one is a unicorn sock and just needs the eyes embroidered. One is this pair of socks that's going to be a Wonder Woman sock, and it is almost finished. The first sock is almost finished, or it's almost to the ribbing, and then I have the second sock, which is just going to be a tube sock, easy work knitting, and then a pair of Ridgeback socks worked in one color, but I finished the first sock already. So yeah, deadline is not going to be a problem this time. I don't know. I don't really have any crafting fails for the holidays. I have plenty of crafting fails, not for the holidays. Number 9, describe the best crafty gift you have received for a holiday. I would say the best crafty gift. This is really tough because most of my gifts are craft related because that's what I do all the time. I can't remember if this was for a holiday or just my sister visited randomly when I lived in Kentucky. I feel like it was probably for a holiday. There was random visiting every once in a while, but I can't remember if this was holiday or not. I'm going to say it's holiday because if it wasn't, it still felt like Christmas. Right after I taught myself how to knit, within 6 months, well, let's say within 6 months of me finishing my first pair of socks, that took me 6 months. So right after that, my sister visited me in Kentucky and she had gone to Joann's and bought me 100 grams of every colorway of sock yarn that they had in the store, which was amazing because we were both, young moms with small humans and small budgets. And she had blown, I don't even know how much, like a month's budget or 2 months' budget or something, buying me yarn. And she said, keep whatever you want. But if you could make me one pair of socks out of something, that would be great. I think I had made her a couple pairs of socks out of that yarn. it was just, it was amazing because I was new to knitting. I had made one pair of socks. I didn't have a sock knitting stash at all. Now I do, but then I didn't. And it was just really, really nice to be supported in something that I was so very into. Number 10, share your favorite holiday mug and show a mug shot. So I have a mug collection. It's very small, less than 10. I don't have any of them pulled out because in summertime, I get really, really sick of doing dishes because instead of, someone washing a dish to use, they would just pull out more and more dishes from the cupboard and nobody wanted to do dishes. It was like a battle to get anyone in the house to just do the dishes. I don't understand. It's not even that big of a deal. But I don't want to be the only person doing dishes all the time. We do not have a dishwasher. So I packed up almost all of my dishes. There is one cup, one bowl, and one plate for everybody. Not to share, everybody has their own set, but that's all I have. But even if I had my holiday mugs out, I think that this tumbler would still be my favorite thing, and I would still use it the most. So this was hand painted for me by my boyfriend's sister, and I love it. And I'm gonna give you this mugshot with these really cute glasses marks on. Don't even care. I tag. Look forward to seeing what you guys have to say. Thank you for hanging out with me while I answer those few questions, and we'll be back to a normal Vlogmas tomorrow.